Good evening once again. Let's start from the introduction of SBL paper. I'm doing this mainly for the members that have joined us for the June sitting and for those that had missed the introduction. So my name is Fortunate Kumhanji once again. I'm an SCA affiliate. I also did my Bachelor's of Science in Accounting and Finance from Chambogo University. I've been in accounting field for quite a number of years, about 8 years, and I've served latest from the senior accountancy role. So I'll be taking you through SBL up to the last day when you're going for the exam. We shall be having our meetings for our classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the group is continuously active. In case you have any issues, in case you're revising and you find a few things that you don't understand, don't hesitate to use the group to ask you questions, and we shall address them early enough before they pile up and you forget. So the SBL syllabus, SBL is one of the most bulky papers. However, it's also one of the very different papers that there is in SCCA. The topics are quite many, but the good news is we don't have to memorize the notes, just like all the other papers whereby we have a lot of knowledge-based exams. Here, it is more of technique application. So we don't have to cram, but we must really understand. We have to read the notes for our benefit, to be able to understand and be able to relate to the scenarios that will be given to us. So the syllabus, we have leadership, we have governance and sustainability, we have strategy, we have risk, organizational control and audit, finance planning and decision making. Some of these we've covered, and there are recordings on our LMS portal. You will check. For the ones which are not recorded, especially the very first ones, we shall redo them and have them recorded as well. We also have additional topics like enabling success, management change, and budget management. Then professional skills, which are extremely fundamental because they carry 20 marks. And then other employability and digital skills. So this is quite a lot, but we really have to, I plan for us to finish our syllabus as early next month, so we can do typically revision and we get very much well equipped. So the exam, like I said yesterday, is out of 100, just like all the other papers. Something has changed about it in terms of time. Before it was 4 hours, now it's 3 and 15 minutes. This exam, I think it's done on a Thursday. If I'm not mistaken, it should be a Thursday. Out of the 100 marks, however, we enter the exam when we are sure that we have 20 marks in our pocket. These 20 marks are from the professional skills and behaviors. So these are like the easy marks or the must-get marks for every person or for every student. As you prepare, you should equip yourself well enough to ensure that you don't miss anything on the 20. So that means that we are now looking for extra 30 to make it to the pass mark, which is not our goal. We aim for 60s, 70s, such that in case anything really happens, we can land in the 50s, the 58s, 55s. We shouldn't really aim for a 50, because there, if you miss anything, you'll be in the 40s and you cannot make it to the first mark. So as you're revising, please don't revise focusing on a 50. Let's focus on 70s, 80s, 90s. It's very possible in this paper. So we have 5 professional skills. We have communication skills, commercial acumen skills, analysis skills, skepticism skills, and evaluation skills. So these skills, we're going to look at them in detail so that we can understand them and they make more sense for us to be able to relate with them each time we see them in the exam. These are not panic points. These are smiling points. When you see the professional skills marks, there will be like 2, 3 every question will have. So this should be your starting point of being excited that you're gathering the marks. So I think all of us have done some past papers on sub-papers on SBL, and these professional marks are common, especially for all the papers on level 3. So I would like to hear from you. If from these communication skills, what do you remember? If someone says attempt the question, but there will be communication skills marks 3 of them, how would you want to address your question, or what would you think they are trying to ask of you? What would you understand of the communication itself? Please feel free to unmute and we can go through them.
Well, you have to follow the instructions that are given to you.
Okay, so that's a form of communication. Any other additional information?
And to follow the format that they have asked you to use while attempting the question.
Any other? Any other? We haven't covered the communication in detail. She's giving us hints on what communication is, what would come in your mind, but we haven't gotten there yet. Any other more things you'd look at if asked about communication?
I think you communication, you mainly look at the target audience and you have to express it clearly.
Yeah, that's very true. So when you're trying to communicate, look at it as addressing another person. So if we are passing on information, what are we trying to do? We're trying to inform the other person. We're trying to make them understand. We're trying to clarify everything that they would need to know about what has been asked of them. So communication in simple terms is passing on information in a much clear way, detailed information. It's not halfway. It should be detailed. It should be complete, such that the person can understand what they're trying to ask of, or what they're trying to understand more from you. Just on a day to, like how we do it on a day-to-day basis, you're communicating. The language that you're using, is it really okay? The tone that you're using, does it really match with what you've been asked? What you're trying to address, is the information you're giving really clear enough for the person to understand? Or someone is asking, imagine someone asked you today in English and you respond in a different language they cannot understand. So it means you're not putting across anything. So we should be able to communicate in a language that the person can understand. Then we have commercial acumen. Commercial acumen, what do you think about commercial acumen?
Um, I think commercial acumen, it's all about understanding the business. The, like that, you have to be having um, the general knowledge of the business.
The general
That
knowledge
is
of.
the business.
Okay, that's good. Any other?
It's
Any other? Please feel free to really put out your mind. Okay, so So if someone says portray commercial acumen skills, like one of us said, we're trying to show that we really understand what we're talking about. We understand the business that we are dealing in. Sorry, we understand what has been asked of us. We're trying to ensure we're trying to educate more about the question that has been given. So we show that we know. You answer now like a leader, because I said when we're doing SBL, completely forget that you are a student. Have a mindset of a leader, have a mindset of a CEO, have a mindset of the finance manager. So this is SBL is, look at it as something that you do in the boardrooms when you're having meetings with your bosses or with the board of directors. This is how it is. So when you're demonstrating, now you show them that you know, you are aware of what you do or what you're saying. When you're trying to pass a judgment, show them that you can advise, pass a judgment and say, from my information, I think it is best that this company can do A, B, C, and D. So that's what commercial acumen is about. Show that you understand the business, show that you clearly can you can use your judgment to advise, you can give more insight about the business, about the questions that have been asked. So in that way, you're trying to show your complete awareness. Then we have the next skill, which is analysis. Analysis is more of finding out or investigating. You've seen lawyers trying to do investigation about a case. So this is what we are doing when we're portraying analysis skills. We're trying to find out more. We're trying to understand. We're trying to ask as much as we can. We're trying to consider every single option that is available. Where if, for example, we've been given calculations, maybe they've given you a spreadsheet with numbers. We're trying to analyze, what are these numbers trying to say? How can we consider something from these numbers? What hidden information is here? So you're trying to analyze every single thing that has been provided and portraying much knowledge or much information as possible. Then we have skepticism. Under skepticism, it's more like having a questioning mind. That's how I can put it. If you have been asked to portray these skepticism skills, they want you to ask as much as you can, probe from what has been given to you. Ask as many questions as you can. You can ask and see. Then you also have to have a questioning mind in everything that you're attempting. Show the positives, show the negatives, so that you can, at the end of the day, be able to help management make an informed decision of what they want to do or what they want to put across. Then lastly, we have evaluation skills. When we're asked to evaluate, we are trying to assess, we are trying to do appraisals, we are trying to do estimates. So these skills are not really completely far different from the other. So we have to, and these ones we must have really at our fingertips. You should be able to understand when the question says portray evaluation skills and you have 5 marks. Really, you should not miss any single mark from that, because these are the easy points that we are sure that we're going to have to get from the exam. So as we prepare, really ensure that every question you're tackling, you do not forget to see the part that shows the professional skills requirement. Any inquiries? Are we okay as of now about these professional skills? There is none? Okay, so if there is none, we can proceed. So with SBL, the interesting news, the good news now that we can also smile about. Past in our days, we did not have access to this. We used to prepare, just like you prepare for all the other papers except SBL. You go for your exam, and then you're introduced to everything that you do not know about. So you try to read as much as you can, as fast as you can, and you think as fast as you can to be able to answer, actually read everything, understand every question, and answer it. It was a little, okay, I don't say it was really hectic, but you really had to be extremely familiar with the SCCA platform for you to be able to read all that information and answer in a short time, because the preamble is usually a little long. But the good news is now you're given a pre-screen information, and this is given to you 2 weeks before the exam. That's quite something good, something to be happy about. So this information it gives you the contextual information or the background of the organization they're going to ask you about, or the industry or that they're going to ask you about. So you read, you try to understand, try to analyze. The other good thing is you don't have to cram it, because it will also still be given to you on the examination date. Just a few things will change. A few exhibits will be added, and then also the questions will be now included. The preceding information will not have questions. It will just be the preamble, giving you the story for you to read and go. Now when you're ready, you know most of the things about the industry. So this really gives you extra time now for typing and writing more. So this is something that is very good about SBL. Now you don't go when you're completely blank or not aware of what you're going to meet. At least now you go when you're close, you have some clues, you're not clueless like other papers. So if you're given this information, you don't have to really research. If they're saying they're doing an industry, the question is about a particular industry, maybe production, maybe anything, maybe IT, maybe AI. You don't have to go now and research and know everything about AI. No, it's not necessary. You just have to read, understand, and prepare early enough for your exam. So that's really something good and beautiful which you're going to benefit from. So what have been the paper patterns from the past experience? So this exam is usually based on integrated case study. The exam, like I said, in the exam you'll be given some further information on which will be an addition of what has been given to you from the pre-screen information. So this whole thing is not factual. It is something that is fictitious. So don't expect a preamble to come and it's a story about a particular industry or particular company. No, this is something that is imagined, thought about, and then it's put before you for you to be able to show what you can understand best, how you can address different problems, how you can solve different things that are challenging the management. So the information could be from a range of sources. There could be extracts of meetings, there could be reports that are from board meetings, they could give you spreadsheets which will be giving you maybe calculations that they have done, try to consider, try to evaluate. All this information is possible for you to get, but just have in your mind that this is not extremely factual. So the tasks usually they'll give you, they have not changed. There will be about 3 of them, but they will be with different sub can I call them subsidiaries, can I call them sub questions? Maybe question 1 with part A, part B, part C, question 2 with part A, part B, part C, part D, or any, depending. So the question has 3 main tasks which will have a varying number of marks. They are not constant. So that as a candidate or as a person who is sitting for the exam, you have to be sure that you're going to take on different roles in the exam. You've seen from some of the questions that we've tackled together, we've seen that you're given a role. Say you are the finance director, of this company. That's your role. You're the senior consultant. So it means, what do consultants do? They advise, they investigate to understand what is the company going through, what options are at the table. So that's if someone says you are the senior business analyst, put yourself in that position and ask yourself, what do business analysts do? Business analysts will try to study business opportunities, see what is happening, see what can be changed, how can we achieve our goal, how can we get best, how can we improve. So you're in that position of now analyzing and addressing the problems, or giving management solutions or ideas of how they can solve their different problems. So you'll be given multiple or different tasks. You don't have to really cram that you will be a finance manager, or you will be a CEO, or you will be an analyst. So you will be given any or different roles. So the number of marks allocated to these tasks will add up to 100, because the paper is out of 100, inclusive of the professional skills marks. So you don't have to forget that of the 120, we are going with them in our pocket. I say it like that because I would be sad if anyone missed. And at least if you would miss, I would not accept you to lose more than 2 marks on professional skills. If not, you should be getting all the 20 marks from the professional skills. The biggest problems that we have from SBL, or one of the major reasons as to why most of the students don't pass this exam, is they do not finish on time. This exam is for 3 hours and 15 minutes now. So it means, as you're seeing the marks on the question, you should be able to compute how much time do I need to spend on this particular number. If the number is having 10 marks, how much time can I give? So each mark approximately is going to require of you 1.8 minutes. So if there are 10 marks, I wouldn't expect you to spend more than 18 minutes on that number. So you have to really try to practice as much as you can. And this it sounds easy, by the way, when it is being said. When it comes to typing, reading and typing, it's a different story. So what do we prepare ourselves of ahead of this exam? As we're preparing, we're going to do a lot of practice. This is going to help us get a lot of confidence, and then I would advise that you do a lot of practice on the SCCA platform. We shall also do a mock, so that will also give you a chance to be able to feel how the exam will be. So you get yourself, try to see how much speed can you put. You can even finish 10 marks in less than 18 minutes. You can do it in 15 if you are well prepared, if you have your information, if you've understood extremely well what is required of you. So that should not be rocket science. This comes with practice. Try to practice under exam conditions. As you're doing your day-to-day practices, your revisions, this is something that you really have to put in mind at all times. Because if you don't finish, the exam is out of 100 and you've attempted 50%, honestly speaking, not all the 50 will be correct. So it means now we are looking at 30-40%. And who is really paying 900,000 to fail this paper? It doesn't make financial sense. So we have to really try to master the art of managing, or of answering in the shortest time possible. So what must we do as students who are preparing for SBL? Like I said in the start, this is one of the broadest papers. It has one of the biggest syllabus content. So we must cover all of it. If you don't cover it, it means now you're sporting. In SCCA we don't sport. I don't know if you've noticed. If you're still using sporting techniques, really it is possible that you can be caught off guard. So to minimize or to mitigate the risk we have to cover the entire syllabus for us to be well equipped. Number 2 is we have to do a lot of practice, 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 and practice. I don't know how much I can really say this, but the truth is, even if you read the entire study text and had it at the palm of your fingers, you really know it like you know your name. If you've not practiced, trust me, it will not be of help in the exam. You will feel confused, you can't understand where you're supposed to use particular knowledge. You will not understand really how these questions are answered, and at the end of the day you will panic. What happens when you panic? You can't think really fast, you will be puzzled, you will be disorganized, and that is the beginning of failing. So when you've done practice, it boosts your confidence. You go to the exam and you know this is another time of me doing a practice on, like I've been doing on my laptop. So you, by the way, mindset is one of the first things I would say that will give you confidence to pass the exam. If you go for this exam and you know I'm coming here to pass, to collect my marks, you already know you're beginning from 100. So you've read your preceding material, you're still at 100, you're comfortable, you've seen the first exhibit, the question can be relatable. We begin to gather 10 marks, you've gathered 8. 5 marks, you've gathered 3 or 4. 15 marks, you've gathered 13 or 15. So that's how we go collecting these marks. So if you don't practice, at the end of the day, it's like gambling. We're going for the exam and we are gambling. So we don't want to really be in a space of gambling, because we don't have much time, and at the end of the day we also don't have all this money to waste. So let's try to practice as much as we can. I think every single class I really remind us to do practice and revision. It's very important. And if you're doing one paper, I would advise you even do revision on a daily basis for you to keep up on the right pace. Do a lot of revision as much as possible, or as any time you can get. Try to dedicate some few minutes of the day to your revision for the exam. And then we also have to develop the demonstration of professional skills to support the award of professional skills marks, and this is a must. Like I said, these are the only marks we are sure of getting, because these ones don't have a formula. They don't have, we know if we say analyze, it's analyzing. If we say communicate, we are informing. We are giving you much highlight about the study, about the industry, about what the question is about. So this will not change 100%. Nothing will change. So we really have to, as we're doing practice, we really have to make sure that we develop this skill as much as we can, so that we don't miss at least a single mark. So when you have the 20, or out of the 20, let's say we can get 18, it's easier now to look for the other 40 marks, because at least we have somewhere to start from, isn't it? And then we have to become familiar and understand the information contained within the pre-screened document. This will be given to us, we shall look at it, and we shall be comfortable enough. Okay, I don't want to call it comfortable, but we shall at least be somewhere before we are at the last time or the last minute of the exam. So this must be done. Practicing is a must. Understanding the syllabus, covering all of it is a must. Doing revision is really a must. That one is, I don't know if I can call it must. We really have to do revision. And as you're doing revision, please remember to summarize the topics. When we're doing the topic in class, I don't summarize it. I give it to you really because you need all of it. So as you're reading, you understand them. Each person understands it in their own different way. So I advise, when you're reading, try to summarize. If we see that we've seen some maybe formula that is there, maybe we have, let's say, 5 P's, maybe we have the 4 C's, maybe we have, summarize that information, so that when you're reading that topic, now you don't have to go and open the entire the entire book again. Now you have somewhere to start from. So that's the beauty of summarizing. It's much easier for you to go through your notes and memorize or remember much faster than if you're doing an entire book. Imagine on the last day you're opening page by page to see if you can remember anything. So any inquiries before I proceed? Okay. So what are the available ACCA resources? So we have a lot of information that is given to us, or a lot of support that is given to us by the ACCA itself. So every time the exams are finished, we have examiner's report that is being given with the answers. Please read it. Make sure that you go through this examiner's report. One, what will they assist you with? You'll understand why most students failed a particular number or were not able to interpret a particular question. So that puts you in a position not to do the same mistake again, because you know if they said you do this and students were not able to do it, as a result most of them missed those marks. Now you're at an advantage because now you know what you shouldn't have done and now you can do it better. So read examiners reports. And then we have past paper exams. These are available on our platform. These are available in our question bank, or the one that we use, the one that I shared on the group. They are available, though I don't use it quite a lot because doesn't give a complete, it breaks them down based on the topics. But past papers, at least they are very readily available in our portals. So try as many as you can. Actually, in SBL, I would not say do a lot of quantity. Now here we don't look at quantity, we look at quality. You can do, it's very possible that someone can do 3 past papers and they are very kawa. Someone may do 10 past papers and they will still not be able to make it. So it's not the number of past papers that you will do, but the quality that you will put in when you're doing these past papers. So try as much as you can when you're doing a past paper, you understand it quite well. Try to bring up all the skills that you need. Assume that you are in an exam and see what is the best that you can get from it. When we're doing this SBL paper, not every mark carries 1 mark. Actually, one person can write 1 answer and gives them 4 marks or 3. If it's very good, actually it can give you 3 or even up to 4. And another person will outline and get half a mark. So you could give very many points and you're still not getting the utmost the utmost marks that are awarded. So understand how this paper is examined, how it is answered. We're trying to explain. When we are explaining in the boardroom, you don't raise your hand and say, excuse me, I think we should take project A, and someone will ask you why. So that the why, the how, the what is what we are addressing on a day-to-day basis in the boardroom. Same applies now to this SBL paper. The how, the what, is what we are trying to clear out in the examiner or in the exam. So when you're answering, make sure that you've tackled all those parts. If you're saying the company, I would advise the company should do project A, and you finish, so what? No one is going to understand why you're saying project A, maybe because it is your father's, or the company is going to purchase things from you. So that's not a logical answer, really. So you would say we should take on project A because this project shows a viable return at the end of the project, which is, let's say, 10 million. Now you're beginning to give your reasons. You could also go ahead and say, how can this be attained? This will be attained if we do this and this, and we're able to achieve it maybe in a given period of time, let's say 3 years. So how does that help the people who are going to give you their monies? So it means they're going to have let's say, a shorter period of investment. The shorter the time, the better, because it means you have a lower risk. So you're trying to address all those things. So that's why I'm saying ensure that you do quality past paper revision. As you're doing the revisions, make sure that you can tackle all that part. Don't really rush through it. Finish one, do the second one. At the end of the day, we are doing these things for ourselves. Technical articles are also something that is mandatory, and sometimes, by the way, in an exam you could get a 10 marks question which is typically about a technical article. Especially watch out for any new technical articles that come out before the exam. Most of those are examined to see if you have checked them out. So as you're reading, try to also check out on the technical articles and ensure that you're informed. Use the practice platform as much as you can. It's going to help you build your confidence. It's going to make you much excited actually about the paper, because now you can type, you can read, you can think, you can reason, all that you're doing at the same time. So you're equipping yourself with everything that you need. We also have a study hub on the SCCA platform. This gives question papers with their answers, so you can check it out. If even for more additional information that you want to know about the notes, there is really a lot. On top of that, we're also giving you, from the JOSA school, we're giving you a revision pack. This is given to you. We're also giving you summarized notes. So this is an added advantage to you, that you don't have to now go through the entire bulky study book. So you can use the revised notes that I'll be sharing on the group. We also have Twitter WhatsApp support. I think I've really asked in every class that we have. If you have any questions, please put them on the WhatsApp group. Though I'm not saying this coming up, but I would really appreciate if you have any inquiries, you can put them up. We discuss them before